Okay, so let's just say you've landed in a new country, right? And you're so excited to like hit those local markets.
Yeah.
You want to find those hidden gems and treasures, but there's just one problem.
Oh.
You don't speak the language.
Oh.
Suddenly that like amazing shopping spree you had in your head,
Right.
like it feels like a silent film. You're like pointing and gesturing.
Totally.
But don't worry, because today we are going deep into English for shopping.
Love it.
And this is more than just your like basic phrase book, okay? This is like your secret weapon for confidently navigating any store.
I think you're right. Shopping in itself is like a universal language. But if you can actually communicate,
right,
it elevates the whole shopping experience.
Yeah.
So this deep dive is going to give you the tools to do just that.
I love it. So our source material is English for shopping, phrases for the store. And what I think is so cool about this is it breaks it down into like different scenarios.
Right.
So it's almost like choose your own adventure.
I love that.
For retail therapy.
Cheers.
So are you ready to like unlock the first level?
Let's do it.
Okay.
So often like the first hurdle is you need help.
Right.
You got to ask for help. And so this guide highlights this phrase, excuse me, where can I find the shampoo?
Perfect.
Like, notice how it's polite, but it's also direct.
Right. It's like saying, hey, I value your time.
Yes.
But I need your help.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So much better than wandering around aimlessly.
Totally.
Right. Okay, so what about when you want to know the price?
Okay, so the guide suggests just a simple, how much is this?
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what a difference, like a few extra words can make.
Ooh.
So you could say something like, is this on sale?
Ooh, I like that.
Or, are there any discounts on this?
I love it.
Yeah.
Strategic.
Strategic.
I love that. The guide also mentions comparing prices between stores, which is especially important if you're on a budget.
Yeah.
Or like me, and you love a good bargain hunt.
Absolutely. Love a good bargain.
Okay, so let's say you found the perfect item.
Okay.
But it's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make sure it fits.
Right.
What do we do?
Right. Simple. Can I try this on?
Classic.
Yeah.
But what I find fascinating is that even with a phrase like that, that's so simple and straightforward, there can be cultural differences when it comes to like fitting room etiquette, right? Yeah. So in some countries, it's totally normal to just walk in.
Right.
In other countries, you might need to like ask for assistance.
Yeah.
Or even take a number.
Yes.
So it's always good to kind of look around.
That's a great point.
And be aware.
Yeah, the guy definitely encourages that, to observe. And if you're not sure, just ask.
Yeah.
Because you want to be adaptable and respectful.
It's all about the smooth shopping experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so we found our outfit. We tried it on. It fits like a glove.
Okay.
Time to head to the checkout.
What do we say?
Okay, so the guide suggests something clear and concise. I'll take this, please.
I love that. Yeah. Because it's so straightforward.
Straightforward.
You're not like hemming and hawing.
Exactly.
You're ready to make that purchase.
You're ready.
All right, so we've got that down.
Yeah.
Now, what about those little extras?
Okay.
The things that can just like elevate your shopping game.
Yes.
Like different payment methods.
Right.
Store policies.
Totally. So for that, the guide gives you phrases like, can I pay by credit card?
Yes.
Or do you accept contactless payment?
Love it.
And it also reminds you to ask about the return policy. Just in case.
So important.
Yeah, because you know what your options are.
You're informed.
Yeah.
You are in control.
You got it.
All right, so we've talked about the brick and mortar stores.
Yeah. But what about the world of online shopping?
Okay.
I mean, who doesn't love to browse from their couch?
Oh, it's definitely changed how we shop.
Yes.
And this guide gets that, and it gives us phrases like, is this item in stock?
So important, especially if you're like on a deadline.
Yeah.
Or what are the shipping options?
Super important.
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially if you're trying to get that free shipping deal.
Absolutely.
Right? And the guide also reminds us that it's okay to ask about estimated delivery times.
Yeah.
Because you want to know when to expect that package.
Oh, no.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all about staying informed.
Informed and empowered.
Yes, I love that.
Throughout the whole online shopping process.
Okay, so
you are the customer.
Yes.
You have the right to ask these.
Absolutely. We are empowered shoppers.
Yes.
Right? We're not just going to click and hope for the best.
No.
We are going to be informed consumers. Okay, so we've tackled like finding items, checking prices, navigating those physical and online stores.
Right.
But let's be real. Sometimes you need more than just a simple phrase.
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta, like, paint a picture with words.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah. That's where being specific comes in.
Yes.
Right? The more information you give, the better that store clerk is going to understand your needs and be able to help you.
I love it. So instead of just being like, I need a dress, you could be like, I'm looking for a summer dress. Something flowy and floral.
Yes.
Maybe a pastel color. Ideally for a wedding.
Exactly. That's perfect.
Boom.
You're giving them a treasure map.
Yes.
To your perfect purchase.
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know what else the guide says?
What's that?
We should tap into the knowledge of the people who work in the stores.
What do you mean?
You know, ask for recommendations.
Ask for recommendations.
I used to be so shy about that.
Really?
I know. I don't know why.
Interesting.
But the guide makes such a good point.
Yeah.
These sales associates, they often have insights into what's popular, what's new.
Totally.
What might suit your needs.
They're like your own personal shopping stylist.
I love that.
Yeah.
So just a simple, what would you recommend?
Yeah.
Or do you have any suggestions for a gift for my mother-in-law?
Perfect.
Can just unlock a wealth of knowledge.
It could save you so much time and stress.
Exactly. Especially when you're feeling overwhelmed by the choices.
Totally.
Okay, so we've been talking about like the positive shopping experiences. But let's talk about something that might be a little bit more delicate. Returns. I know we've all been there where we're like, oh, I don't know how to approach this.
Right.
But remember, returns are a normal part of the shopping process.
Okay.
So the key is to be polite.
Yeah.
Clear and prepared.
Absolutely.
The guide gives us a good phrase. Something like, I'd like to return this sweater. It's a bit too big, and I'd like to exchange it for a smaller size if possible.
Perfect.
So you're explaining the reason.
You are.
And you're offering a solution.
Exactly.
And it's polite.
And it's polite.
Right. And the guide also reminds us to have our receipt.
So important.
I know. I'm always scrambling for that receipt.
I know. Me too.
And to be familiar with the store's return policy, right? Because every store's a little different.
A little different.
And that just shows that you are a responsible shopper.
It does.
You respect the store's procedures.
Absolutely.
And even if things don't go exactly as planned, we've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
Just remember to maintain a calm and respectful demeanor.
A little patience and understanding goes a long way.
Yes. Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
Asking for help, being specific, seeking recommendations, handling those returns with grace.
Yes.
What stands out to you as the most valuable takeaway?
You know, for me, it's that emphasis on clarity and confidence.
I love that.
Because these phrases, it's not just about knowing the words.
Right.
It's about being able to communicate your needs clearly.
Yes.
And that can make a huge difference, whether you're at a market or you're online.
Absolutely.
It can make or break the experience.
Yeah. It's about having the tools to navigate any retail environment with ease and assurance.
Totally.
But, you know, it's not just about the words themselves.
Okay.
It's also about how you say them.
Okay.
It's about that energy, that confidence that you project.
Got it.
And I feel like the guide kind of hints at this throughout the examples.
Right.
But projecting confidence can make a huge difference.
It really can.
In how you're perceived and how smoothly those interactions go.
Totally. It's like fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Right. Even if you don't feel confident, just stand tall, make eye contact. And project that confidence.
That's so true. You know, I had an experience that really brought this home for me.
Okay.
So I was in a market in Morocco.
Okay.
And I was trying to negotiate the price of this beautiful rug.
Okay.
And I was using all the right phrases from a guidebook.
Okay.
But I was just like so hesitant and unsure of myself.
Yeah.
And the seller totally sensed that and would not budge on the price.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I got to change my approach here.
Right.
So I stood tall. I made eye contact.
Yeah.
I spoke with like a firm but friendly tone, even injected a little humor into it.
Right.
And to my surprise, the seller totally responded.
Wow.
Positively. We had a good laugh and I got the rug.
That's amazing.
For a fair price.
I love that story.
I know.
It's such a good example.
It was a powerful lesson in nonverbal communication and confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely channeling my inner rug buying expert next time I'm in a market.
Love it.
But speaking of markets, I think we need to talk about something that our guide kind of touches on but doesn't really go into cultural nuances.
Oh, yes. This is where it gets interesting.
Because what might be considered polite or appropriate in one culture
Yeah.
could be totally different in another culture.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, for example, the guide mentions that in some cultures, it's considered rude to point with your finger.
Right.
Which I'd never even thought about.
Yeah.
But it's true.
It's so interesting.
Right. So in those cultures, you might use an open hand gesture or just say, could you show me that one, please?
Exactly.
It's all about being sensitive to those differences.
It is.
The guide also touches on the concept of personal space.
Oh, yeah.
So in some cultures, it's totally normal to stand close to someone while you're talking.
Yeah.
But in other cultures, it can feel very intrusive.
Totally.
And it's not just about physical space. It's also about conversational style.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So in some cultures, it's totally fine to interrupt.
Right.
But in other cultures, it's considered so rude.
Yeah.
It's like this whole hidden language.
It is.
It
is a hidden language.
But with a little awareness
and
a willingness to learn, we can navigate these differences and
Right.
create more harmonious interactions.
And that's what I love about this guide. It encourages us to be curious,
Yes.
adaptable,
Yes.
and respectful of those customs.
I love that.
Because shopping is a global activity.
It is.
It connects us with people from all walks of life.
And it reminds us that communication is about so much more.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about connecting with others, understanding different perspectives, and creating a shared experience.
Beautifully said.
It's beautiful.
And, you know, as we're talking about these cultural nuances, I'm thinking about how even within, like, the English-speaking world, there are regional variations and slang terms
Totally.
that can add a whole other layer to the shopping experience.
Yeah, like, for example, in some parts of the U.S., you might hear someone say they're going to pop into a store.
Yeah.
But in the U.K., they might say nip in.
I love those little quirks. It's like each region has its own little flavor of English.
That's own flavor.
And I think that's something that our guide could maybe explore further.
I agree. It'd be so interesting to see how those different dialects and slang terms can affect the shopping experience.
And provide insights into the local culture.
Totally.
Right? Because it's like a treasure hunt for linguistic gems.
Yeah, right. It would be so fun.
Like unearthing the meaning behind Bob's your uncle.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
It'd be amazing.
It would make the guide even more comprehensive and engaging.
For learners of all levels.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of engagement, are you ready to inject a little fun into this deep dive?
I think so.
Okay.
What do you have in mind?
How about a little role playing?
Ooh, fun.
I like it.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's imagine that you are a store clerk.
Okay.
In a bustling clothing boutique.
Right.
And I'm a customer
who
is feeling a little overwhelmed by all the choices.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Okay, bring on the fashion frenzy.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I'm looking for a dress for a special occasion.
Okay.
Something elegant and sophisticated, but not too formal.
Okay.
Do you have any recommendations?
Of course, we have a wide selection of dresses that are perfect for special occasions. What kind of event is it?
It's a dinner party.
Okay.
So I want to look polished, but not overdressed.
I usually gravitate towards classic styles.
Okay.
With a modern twist.
All right.
Oh, and I love anything with lace.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We have some stunning lace dresses.
Ooh.
That might be just what you're looking for.
Okay.
Follow me. I'll show you some of our favorites.
I'm already feeling more confident.
Good.
And I haven't even seen the dresses yet.
I know. It's amazing.
This role-playing is really bringing those phrases to life.
It really is.
You know?
Yeah.
It's amazing how a little practice can make such a difference.
A world of difference.
Yeah. By putting ourselves in these different scenarios, we can internalize the phrases and feel more comfortable using them in real life.
Absolutely.
And, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll even discover a hidden talent for acting.
Maybe.
But jokes aside, I think this really highlights the importance of, like, active learning.
Yes.
Right? It's not enough to just read phrases in a book.
No.
You got to use them.
You got to use them.
Experiment with them.
Yeah.
And make them your own.
Make them your own.
Exactly.
Language is a living thing.
It is.
And it flourishes when we engage with it.
Yes.
Creatively.
Creatively.
And fearlessly.
Yes. I love that.
I feel like we've covered so much in this deep dive, from those essential phrases to the cultural nuances to even a little bit of role-playing.
I know, it's been fun. But there's one thing we haven't really talked about.
Okay, what's that?
The psychology of shopping.
Ooh, interesting. What do you mean?
So I've been thinking about how our emotions and our perceptions can really play a role in our shopping experiences. Have you ever noticed how stores use things like music and lighting and even scents to create a mood or influence our buying decision?
Oh, they're masters at that.
They are.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
They know that shopping is an emotional experience.
It is. It's not just transactional. It's emotional.
It is.
And while our guide doesn't really address this, I think it's something worth thinking about.
I agree.
Because understanding that psychology can empower us to make more conscious and informed choices.
I completely agree. Because if you know what they're doing, then you're less likely to fall prey to their little tricks and tactics.
It's like having that secret decoder ring.
I love that.
Right.
Love that.
You can see through the smoke and mirrors and make those decisions that align with your true needs and values.
Exactly. You're in control.
You are, we are empowered shoppers.
Empowered shoppers.
Who make mindful, intentional choices.
Intentional.
And that, I think, is the ultimate goal.
I think so, too.
Of this deep dive.
Yeah.
But before we declare ourselves like shopping gurus, there's one more piece of the puzzle.
Ooh, what's that?
That we need to explore.
Okay.
And that is the future of shopping itself.
Okay, now that sparks my interest.
I know.
What do you see happening?
So I am fascinated by the rise of AI and how it's transforming retail.
Oh.
Like, imagine walking into a store and there's a virtual assistant that greets you by name, knows your shopping history, and can recommend items based on your preferences.
Okay. That sounds both futuristic and a little unnerving.
A little bit.
But I can see it happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
And VR. Imagine being able to, like, try on clothes virtually, explore virtual showrooms, attend virtual fashion shows from your couch.
It sounds like the lines are blurring between the physical and the digital.
Yes.
Which is creating a whole new landscape for retail.
It is. It's exciting. It's and a little daunting.
It is.
But it's definitely not going to be boring.
It's not going to be boring.
Right. So it makes me wonder how those phrases and strategies that we've been talking about today, are they going to evolve to fit this new paradigm?
Exactly. Are we going to need a new vocabulary for virtual assistants?
Like, are we going to need English for shopping in the metaverse?
Yes. Who knows what the future holds?
I can't wait to find out.
I can't either.
But until then, I think we've given our listeners a really good foundation.
I think so.
To navigate this ever-evolving world of shopping.
For sure.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, there is one more crucial element.
Right. What's that?
That I want to highlight.
Okay.
And that is the importance of ethical considerations when we're shopping.
This is an important one.
It is, because sometimes in our enthusiasm for like getting a good deal or finding the perfect item, we can kind of overlook this ethical implication.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
Of our choices.
Yeah.
Right? So we need to be mindful of things like fair trade practices, sustainable sourcing, and the environmental impact of our purchases.
It's about asking those questions. Where was this made?
Yeah.
Who made it?
Yes.
What are the working conditions like?
Such powerful questions.
Yes.
And by making those informed choices, we can support brands and retailers that align with our values.
Absolutely.
And contribute to a more just and sustainable world.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like recognizing that our purchasing power is a vote.
It is.
For the kind of world we want to live in.
A vote.
A vote.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we're not just consumers.
Right.
We're conscious consumers.
Conscious consumers.
We're making a difference.
Yes. One purchase.
One purchase at a time.
At a time.
I love it.
It's about shifting our mindset from me to we.
Yes.
And recognizing that our actions have ripple effects.
Yeah.
Ripple effects, exactly.
It's about being mindful.
Mindful.
Compassionate, and ultimately making choices that benefit not just ourselves, but the planet.
The planet and the people on it.
They'll love that perspective.
So I think this deep dive has really gone beyond.
It has.
Just like learning phrases for shopping.
Yes.
Right?
It's much bigger.
We've explored those cultural nuances, the psychological insights,
right,
and even those ethical considerations
of
our consumer choices.
It's been a really enriching journey.
It has.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to go out there and shop.
Yes.
With confidence and awareness and purpose.
I couldn't agree more.
Good.
But before we say goodbye to our fellow shopping enthusiasts,
Bye.
I want to leave you with one last thought.
All right, let's hear it.
So remember at the beginning we talked about that feeling of being lost in a foreign market?
Yes.
Well, imagine this.
Okay.
You've mastered the phrases. You're aware of all those cultural nuances.
Right.
You're even factoring in those ethical considerations. But you're still a little hesitant to actually use your English.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's like having all the ingredients for a delicious meal. But you're afraid to turn on the oven.
Exactly.
It can be intimidating.
To put yourself out there.
So what's that secret ingredient to overcome that hesitation and unlock that true confidence?
Well, I think our guide kind of hints at it. But it's worth actually saying.
Okay.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes.
And even more importantly, practice makes progress.
Yes.
The more you use your English in real-life situations, the more comfortable you'll get.
Absolutely.
The more confident you'll become.
It's like learning to ride a bike.
Yes.
You know, you might wobble at first.
Right.
But with each attempt, you're gaining that balance.
And control.
You got it.
So it's not about reaching like this perfect destination.
Right.
It's about enjoying the journey.
Exactly.
Even with those bumps along the way.
Yes.
Right.
And sometimes those bumps lead to unexpected discoveries.
I love that.
Or funny stories.
Oh, tell me a funny story.
Okay, so I was traveling in Italy once.
Okay.
And I confidently ordered a latte, thinking I was getting a coffee with milk.
Oh, okay.
But latte in Italian just means milk.
Oh, no.
So
did you end up with a glass of milk?
I ended up with a glass of milk.
Instead of your morning coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was such a funny moment.
I bet.
And it really taught me a lesson.
It did.
About the nuances of language.
Yes.
And it's a great story to tell.
It is. So even when we stumble,
right,
there's something to be gained from the experience. Yeah. And often those stumbles turn into the most memorable parts of our journey.
Agree.
Okay, so speaking of journeys.
Right.
I think it's safe to say that we've reached the end of our deep dive into English for shopping.
I think so. We covered a lot.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, from those essential phrases to the cultural sensitivity, even the psychology and ethics of shopping.
It's been quite an adventure.
It has.
And I really hope that our listeners are feeling empowered to hit those stores, both real and virtual, armed with the knowledge and confidence to navigate any retail situation with ease.
I think they are.
But before we release them into the wild world of shopping, I want to leave them with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
So remember we talked about language being a powerful tool?
Yes.
But it's just one element of effective communication.
It is.
So what are some of those other essential ingredients for successful communication?
I think it boils down to empathy.
Okay.
Respect.
And a genuine desire to connect.
Those are beautiful sentiments.
Thank you.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Sure. So empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, trying to understand their perspective and respond with compassion.
Yes.
Respect is acknowledging the worth of every individual, regardless of their background or their preferences.
I love that.
And a genuine desire to connect is approaching each interaction with an open heart and a willingness to bridge any gaps.
It's not just about getting what we want.
Right.
It's about creating a positive experience.
Exactly. Everyone involved.
Right. And when we approach shopping with those intentions, we're creating this ripple effect of kindness.
Kindness and understanding.
And understanding.
Yeah.
You know, it's about recognizing that shopping is not just about acquiring things.
Right.
It's about connecting with people.
Yes.
Experiencing different cultures and expanding our horizons.
Beautifully said.
So it's like turning a shopping trip into a mini adventure.
A mini adventure.
Right. It's a chance to explore new worlds.
I love that.
And you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe along the way you'll discover some hidden treasures,
Right.
forge new friendships, or even inspire someone else to step out of their comfort zone and embrace the joy of communication.
What a beautiful thought.
So this has been The Deep Dive.
Yes.
Your shortcut to becoming a more confident, informed, and compassionate shopper.
I love it.
So go forth, dear listeners, and shop with joy, purpose, and a newfound appreciation for the power of language.
Happy shopping, everyone.
Well, I think our guide kind of hints at it, but it's worth actually saying practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
And even more importantly, practice makes progress. The more you use your English in real-life situations, the more comfortable you'll get, the more confident you'll become. It's like learning to ride a bike, you know? You might wobble a bit at first, but with each attempt, you're gaining that balance and control.
Exactly. And just like with riding a bike, the key is to focus on the journey, not the destination. Don't get hung up on perfection or worry about making mistakes. Embrace those stumbles as opportunities to learn and grow.
I love that analogy. It's about enjoying the ride, even with a few bumps along the way. And who knows, maybe those bumps will lead to some unexpected discoveries or funny stories to share.
Absolutely. Mistakes are often the best teachers. I remember once, while traveling in Italy, I confidently ordered a latte, thinking I was getting a coffee with milk. Turns out, latte in Italian just means milk.
Oh, no. Did you end up with a glass of milk instead of your morning coffee?
I did. But you know what? It was such a funny moment, and it taught me a valuable lesson about the nuances of language. And plus, it's a great story to tell.
I bet. It's a reminder that even when we stumble, there's always something to gain from the experience. And often those stumbles turn into the most memorable parts of our journeys.
Speaking of journeys, I think it's safe to say that we've reached the end of our deep dive into English for shopping. We've covered a lot, from those essential phrases to cultural sensitivity and even the psychology and ethics of shopping.
It's been quite an adventure. And I really hope our listeners are feeling empowered to hit those stores, both real and virtual, armed with the knowledge and confidence to navigate any retail situation with ease.
I'm confident they are. But before we release them into the wild world of shopping, I want to leave them with one final thought. Remember, language is a powerful tool, but it's just one element of effective communication.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this. What are some other essential ingredients for successful communication, especially in the context of shopping?
Well, I think it boils down to three key elements: empathy, respect, and a genuine desire to connect.
Those are beautiful sentiments. Could you elaborate a bit on each of those?
Of course, empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, trying to understand their perspective, and responding with compassion. Respect is acknowledging the inherent worth of every individual, regardless of their language skills, cultural background, or shopping preferences. And a genuine desire to connect is about approaching each interaction with an open heart and a willingness to bridge any gaps that may exist.
Those are such powerful reminders. It's not just about getting what we want, it's about creating a positive and meaningful experience for everyone involved.
Exactly. And when we approach shopping with those intentions, we create a ripple effect of kindness and understanding that extends far beyond the transaction itself.
It's about recognizing that shopping is not just about acquiring things. It's about connecting with people, experiencing different cultures, and expanding our horizons.
Beautifully said. It's about embracing the human element of shopping and recognizing that even in the most mundane of transactions, there's an opportunity for connection, growth, and even a touch of magic.
I love that. It's like turning a simple shopping trip into a mini adventure, a chance to explore new worlds, both literally and figuratively.
And who knows, maybe along the way you'll discover hidden treasures, forge unexpected friendships, or even inspire someone else to step out of their comfort zone and embrace the joy of communication.
What a wonderful thought to end on. This has been The Deep Dive, your shortcut to becoming a more confident, informed, and compassionate shopper. So go forth, dear listeners, and shop with joy, purpose, and a newfound appreciation for the power of language and connection.
Happy shopping, everyone.